It was exactly 8:07 p.m. when Arjun felt the first crack in reality. Though at that moment, he didn't know it yet. The December air was bitterly cold, slamming against the cracked window of his delivery van and producing a low, whistling sound that felt less like wind and more like a warning. Ahead of him, Highway 43 stretched endlessly through the hills, its black surface glowing faintly under the yellow headlights, twisting and curling like a massive serpent that had no intention of letting its prey escape. This delivery was never supposed to take him here. His shift should have ended hours ago, but an urgent parcel marked high priority dragged him onto this isolated mountain road where mobile signals died, radio frequencies dissolved into harsh static, and even Google Maps froze as if it refused to guide him any further. The forest on both sides of the road stood unnaturally still. No insects, no birds, not even the sound of leaves, only silence thick enough to press against his chest. That was when Arjuna noticed a shape through the fog, sitting calmly on the roadside as if it had been waiting for him all along. The old man sat cross-legged in the mud, scratching strange circular patterns into the ground with a dry, broken stick. His white hair floated wildly, though the air around him felt dead and heavy. Arjun slowed the van, telling himself that asking for directions was safer than blindly trusting a frozen map. When he rolled down the window and asked if this was the road to Simlaguda, the man slowly lifted his head and smiled, not warmly, but with a quiet certainty that made Arjun's skin crawl. "Roads don't end here, son," the old man said softly. "They only repeat. Turn back while a line of time still remains for you." Irritated and uncomfortable, Arjun dismissed him as a mad hermit and drove off, muttering under his breath. But when he glanced into the rearview mirror, seconds later, the old man had vanished completely. The road behind him was empty, smooth, untouched, as if no one had ever sat there at all. The fog thickened without warning, swallowing the headlights and shrinking the world down to a few trembling meters of visibility. Arjuna's grip tightened on the steering wheel as his heart began racing against the engine's hum. He drove for what felt like 20 minutes, trying to calm himself, telling his mind that fear was playing tricks on him. Then his stomach dropped. The same bend appeared ahead, the same scattered stones. The same twisted tree, and sitting at the exact same spot was the old man, scratching the same symbols into the mud. Arjun checked his watch in disbelief. It was only 8:15 p.m. Time hadn't moved the way it should have. A low, echoing laugh drifted through the fog, vibrating against the metal of the van, and panic crawled into his chest like a living thing. This time, Arjun didn't stop. He slammed the accelerator, pushing the van faster than the narrow hill road allowed, desperate to outrun whatever nightmare he had stumbled into. Kilometers blurred together until a flash of red appeared in the headlights, a scarf lying motionless in the center of the road. Arjun didn't slow down. He drove straight over it, refusing to let fear control him. 5 minutes later, the same red scarf appeared again. His throat went dry. When it appeared a third time, his instincts screamed louder than reason, and he hit the brakes. The van skidded to a stop. His hands shook as he stepped out and picked up the scarf, only to drop it instantly. It wasn't cloth. It was cold, and naturally cold like human skin left in the winter air. Before he could react, a voice drifted from the bushes beside the road, soft and familiar. "Arjun Beta, come home." It's Latte. His blood froze. It was his mother's voice, gentle and loving, exactly the way she used to call him. But his mother lived hundreds of kilometers away. When he shone his flashlight into the bushes, she stepped forward, wearing the same sari. Disami-faced, but where her eyes should have been were deep black hollows leaking darkness. A horrifying smile stretched across her face. Arjun screamed and ran back into the van, locking the doors as his entire body trembled. Desperate for help, he called his friend Samir, his voice cracking as he explained the repeating road, the voices, the impossible visions. Samir laughed on the other end of the line. "Relax, man. Why are you panicking? I'm sitting right behind you." Arjun slowly turned his head toward the back seat. It was empty. The phone call ended abruptly, and the screen flickered before displaying 2 words in blood-red letters. Time over. Something inside Arjun broke. Convinced that moving forward would kill him, he decided to reverse the van and return the way he came, even if it took all night. Minutes later, the headlights revealed something that shattered his remaining sanity. In the middle of the road stood another Arjun, waving his hand for the van to stop. Same clothes, same watch, same face but eyes empty of life, fixed and cold like stone. The figure began walking toward him, its movements stiff and unnatural, as if its bones were broken and barely holding together. Screaming, Arjun accelerated, expecting the figure to disappear. It didn't. The impact was violent. Blood splashed across the windshield. When Arjun turned on the wipers, the road ahead was empty again, with no body, no marks, no sign that anything had been there at all. Scratching sounds suddenly erupted from the roof of the van, sharp and desperate, like nails clawing at metal. A hand pressed against the side window. It was his hand, wearing the same watch he had worn all day. The voice came again, right beside his ear. "Where will you go, Arjun?" "Wherever you run, you'll find only me." The van jerked violently as the steering wheel began turning on its own, dragging the vehicle toward the edge of the road. No matter how hard Arjun fought, it felt like an invisible force was pulling him into darkness. The van crashed through bushes and came to a stop near a dead tree standing alone in the forest. Drawn as if hypnotized, Arjun stepped out and approached the tree. A weathered photograph was nailed to its trunk. It was his photograph. Below it were the words, Arjun Sharma, 1998 to 2025. Memory crashed into him, all at once. Thick fog, blinding headlights from an oncoming truck, wet asphalt, and the sound of metal folding in on itself. He turned slowly and saw his own lifeless body slumped in the driver's seat, eyes half open, blood dried near the gear. The old man appeared again, floating above the ground, his voice echoing through the trees. "This road feeds on unfinished lives," he whispered. "You died the moment you accepted this journey." In the distance, ambulance lights flickered as police arrived, covering his body with a sheet. As the fog thickened once more, new headlights appeared far down the road. Another traveler. Another mistake. The symbols in the mud faded. The forest fell silent, and Highway 43 waited patiently, ready to repeat the cycle again.